So Ethereum has just also made a death cross following in the footsteps of Bitcoin. I just want to make a quick video and explain a little bit about what I'm seeing here in the charts and what I think could lie ahead for the next couple weeks and couple months with the Ethereum price action. What's up guys, Dirk here from intelligentcryptocurrency.com. If you are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, click that notification bell after you do so you do get future updates. Get on my email list so I can send you an email every time I upload a new video and important notifications about crypto. The first link in the description down below, and if you want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, the links are also down below. Alright, so to dive straight into it, we are looking at Ethereum trading at $2,434 right now as I'm making this video on the 28th of January 2022. And you can see the 50 moving average has just crossed down through the 200. This is known as the death cross. Now, not too long ago, about a week or two ago, actually Bitcoin made the death cross. So now Ethereum was lagging behind a little bit, and it has finally created this death cross, which is usually a longer term bearish indicator. In fact, we haven't seen a death cross on Ethereum for a very, very long time, actually since the March 2020 sell-off, because even last year in the May sell-off, we did not actually get the death cross in Ethereum. We got it in Bitcoin, we did not get it in Ethereum. So this time we actually got it, and it is confirmed right now, simply because also the price is so far below it. There's no way, even if the price reverses back up by a couple $100, even by $1,000 right now, it would not stop the death cross from happening. So it has happened. And what does that mean? Well, if you've been following the channel over the last several weeks, I've been saying that it is likely we are now in a bearish trend, and we're probably going to continue lower unless we find confirmation of a reversal. So with a bearish trend, the easiest that you can do, instead of trying to pick the bottom and trying to say that every dip and every new low is the bottom and buying that dip and then running out of funds as it continues to dip and dip and dip and watch your funds get worth less and less and less, is to simply assume that in a bearish trend, the direction is going to continue to be lower unless we get a confirmation of reversal of the trend where it goes to the upside. And I've already explained that in previous videos with Bitcoin. I will link that in the description down below or up here if you're watching on YouTube. But basically what I'd be looking for is simply a reclaim of the 50-day moving average to be able to determine at least some sort of indication that we are back in some sort of bullish trend. So you can see when we stayed above the 50, and it's blue over here, for the most part staying above the 50 was the bullish trend, and getting below the 50-day moving average was bearish. And we've been below that 50-day moving average pretty much since over the 4,200 level. We've been below it. So at some point getting back above this would signal more of a chance. Obviously you look at this in combination with other factors, that we are indeed potentially back in a bullish trend. So far we are quite a bit extended below it. Usually what happens is there are bounces, especially at points of crosses when it's this far overextended. So Ethereum could completely bounce back up here, and maybe it could even bounce, back up to this level, 2,800, 2,900, 3,000. That is completely a possibility. But then there is still the danger, because we are in a bearish trend, that even if it does bounce back up here, that it simply rolls over and continues going lower. Okay, that is what happens in bearish trends. You can see in 2018, even though it continues to make a lower high, it makes a low, then it bounces, and it continues lower again. So that is something you have to watch out for. That's why I want to warn you here. Of course, we all like the bullish scenario. We like the bull markets because that's when a lot of us all make money. But in the bear markets, you have to be careful. There's actually a lot of money to be made in bear markets, especially even simply without trading, but simply by being patient and having spare capital available, so that when the bear trend finally capitulates at the end of that, however long that may take, whether it's weeks or months, eventually, as the price continues going lower and it capitulates to the downside, it gives an amazing buying opportunity. If you have that patience and you have the risk capital available to buy those capitulations, those extreme lows where everyone is feeling the pain, everyone is kind of abandoning crypto, thinking it's dead, those are the times when you can buy with potential for, we've seen it in the last bear market. I mean, Ethereum did like a 60x, so $10,000 in the lows in the last bear market in Ethereum could have turned into $600,000 or more And we have some other altcoins that have done even greater multiples than that. So if you are patient and you are prepared and you are waiting for this to happen, it can give you some incredible opportunities for really life-changing wealth in the next few years. But you have to play it correctly and you have to be patient. So, like I said, this could bounce. But until we get some sort of reclaim, for me personally, I'm looking at least the 50-day moving average and ideally the 50-week moving average. I'll change it to the weekly just now. Until then, any potential bounces, you have to be careful that they don't end up as a failure like we see here in 2018. Let me zoom in a little bit over here. What happened in 2018? You can see it dropped, it went high. And on this bounce, you think, oh, maybe it recovered, but then it made a lower high and it dropped even lower. And then it bounced again. And if you think, hey, it's reversed, the bear trend is over, and a lot of people end up FOMOing in right at that very top of that bounce, and then it drops another 50 or 60%. And then it bounces again, and then it drops again. So you have to be very, very careful with that. So even right now, if the price of Ethereum does end up bouncing, and it could have a significant bounce, we don't know, right? Maybe it continues lower first, but it can bounce. If it goes to 3,000 or even, 3,200, 3,300, that could just be a lower high and it can roll over. So watch out for that. And until we get confirmation where we really get at least a daily close, if not a weekly close, back above some important level and some important moving averages, you have to assume that the bearish trend is still in play and that it could still end up going lower. So talking about that bounce, you can see when we had this death cross in 2018, it actually marked a short-term bottom over there for that bear market, and we had a big rally. Let me zoom in on this again so that you can see what happened. So back in 2018, we had this death cross also, right? We didn't have one for the whole bull market. We had the death cross, and it came pretty late into the correction already. I mean, Ethereum had already dropped from 1420 all the way down to about 340. So at this very low point, we got that cross, and then we started a rally. So you can see over here at the point of the cross, we had this rally that went up 130% from that point. But again, that formed an even lower high, and after that, it rolled over and it continued going lower. So I don't know what is going to happen here in the short term. Is it possible we get a nice bounce and a decent sized rally that takes us up to 3,000 or 3,500? Yes, that is a possibility. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed. So you just have to look at the probabilities. And when those rallies do come, keep an eye out that they don't make a lower high and roll over again. Wait for confirmation to see that it is indeed a trend reversal. Now, before we wrap this up, let's look at the weekly chart here too. So this is the 50-week moving average. And I like to look at the longer term time frames, the daily, but especially the weekly and sometimes even the monthly, because it does give a better picture of the longer term direction. And of course, there's the lower time frames you go, the more volatility there is. But this way, it gives you a good picture, a good idea. So you can see we stayed above this 50-week moving average in the same way we did with Bitcoin, a lot of other cryptocurrencies, for pretty much the whole bull run from 2020 until the very peak of it. Now that we've broken down below it, usually that is not a good sign. So until we get a reclaim of this 50-week moving average, like I said earlier, which is currently at about $3,000, if we can get a weekly close above the $3,000 level, maybe 2 weekly closes, then it is starting to look a lot more probable that the reversal and the bottom is in, the trend is reversed, and we could continue going higher. But until that point, usually after breaking the 50-week moving average, the next stop is the 200-week moving average. So we're going to have to wait and see, because the top here in the last bull run was 1,420 on Ethereum. There's people saying it doesn't go below the previous top, but at this point in time, the 200-week moving average is just over $1,000. So if it would crash right down and it would hit that, well, we'd go below the 2017 high. And I don't know how probable it is, but is it a possibility? There is a non-zero chance that it could hit that. If the whole market kind of implodes, if the stock market sells off, if there's any sort of issues with DeFi or any bad actors in the space or anything like that, or there continues to be downward pressure from the Ethereum Foundation selling their ETH, or from NFT projects who raise ETH and then sell the ETH that they've gotten from selling their collections, it could add continued downwards pressure. Plus, potential liquidation levels, MakerDAO, decentralized platforms and yield platforms that have collateral with liquidation levels. If the price goes too low, it could cause a cascading effect. So at this point in time, I'm still very much leaning on the cautious side. You know, if this reverses here and we get a confirmation of a reversal and we really do end up completely reversing this downward trend, well, you know, if we're going to $10,000 or more, it doesn't really matter if you buy in right now or wait a little bit higher for a confirmation. But in the case that we don't and we do have further downside, I would rather be patient, wait for a capitulation, and potentially buy ETH in the low $1,000, or maybe even we get a wick below $1,000 before it is all said and done. And obviously that would mean if Bitcoin goes down and Ethereum goes down, what is that going to mean for other altcoins? That is something you have to take into consideration. I'm just sharing this with you to be transparent. When we were in the bull market, I shared the potential upside and all those bullish targets. When we are now in a bearish trend, I'm doing the same in the opposite direction. Keep in mind that the chart does tend to tell us where things are going. And if you listen to that chart and you stick within your risk management and you are patient, then there is a lot of money to be made in the crypto markets. But if you overextend, or if you use leverage, or you continue to go against the trend when it is very clearly in the opposite direction that you are betting on, then obviously that could end up costing you a lot of money. So please be careful with this stuff. Let the charts tell you where we are going. For now, we are still in a bearish trend until proven otherwise. And when we get confirmation and things are looking bullish again, you know, I will share that with you too. So hopefully you enjoyed this video update. If you did and you're not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe down below. Get on my email list. It's the first link in the description. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. Links are in the description down below. And I will see you in the next video.